In this month's video, Sheriff Reese will discuss the upcoming budget process. He'll also talk about a report being released by Disability Rights Oregon. He'll talk about the largest drug bust in agency history by the Special Investigations Unit. We'll have an interview with Lt Poole of the Corrections Division, introduce you to the new hires this month, and congratulate those who are retiring from the agency.
I want to thank members of the Special Investigations Unit for their efforts in an investigation that led to the largest drug raid in agency history this week. In total, nearly 100 pounds of methamphetamine and nearly $30,000 were recovered as part of their mission. The long-term impacts of removing these drugs from circulation in our community are immeasurable, and I am proud of the work by our staff throughout this investigation. Earlier this month, we welcomed several new members to the Sheriff's Office at our new hire ceremony. With new employees comes a new perspective, fresh ideas, and a renewed sense of what a privilege it is to be part of MCSO. As they begin working alongside you, please make a point to introduce yourself and welcome them to our agency. As part of this year's budget process, the county chair has asked our agency to present cuts that would constitute a 2% constraint, or approximately $2.5 million. Working with the executive command team, we were able to provide this potential cut along with proposals for new opportunities. As the chair finalizes this year's budget, I'll share with you the impacts to our agency. I will also continue to work with the chair's office and the Board of County Commissioners in the coming months to create a budget that maximizes the efficiencies and best uses the resources we have to better our facilities and help protect our community. Over the last 8 months, Disability Rights Oregon has conducted visits inside our correctional facilities. I want to thank staff for your efforts to facilitate their access to both inmates and our facilities. The Dro Report has been released, and I would encourage you all to find time to read it. This marks our 4th audit in the Corrections Division over the past several months. The culmination of these reports will provide direction for areas of change in our policy, training, and practices moving forward. It can be challenging to read and acknowledge that we have areas that need improvement in providing service to adults in our custody, particularly those with mental health challenges. Many of the recommendations noted in the Dro Report will require system-wide improvements. I am confident the end result will be a more compassionate and empathetic response to persons in crisis, which will ultimately create a safer and more positive environment for our staff. Again, I want to thank you for being part of this process and the hard work you do every day as committed professionals. I also want to congratulate those within our organization who will be retiring this month. I want to thank you for your dedication to our agency and wish you the best in the new ventures retired life will bring. February is Black History Month, and I am pleased to share with you a short interview with Lt Vera Pool, a 45-year veteran of the agency who has been a catalyst for change. I am proud of the diversity we have in our agency and value the importance of reflecting our community.
I started with Multnomah County Sheriff's Office December 14, 1970. I was in college, and I didn't have a clue about the Sheriff's Office. I was going to PCC College, and I had to do a report regarding a crime, and it had been a crime that was committed, a murder, at Rocky Butte, up on the hill of Rocky Butte, which they call Lover's Lanes. And I went to court, and the courtroom was full. Deputy Matt Dishman came to me and said, "Young lady, what are you doing?" And I said, "I'm doing a paper on a crime." He said, "I'll get you into the courtroom." When I got ready to leave, he said, "What are you planning on doing for your career?" I said, "I don't know." He said, "Have you considered working at the jail?" I said, "What jail?" He said, "Rocky Butte Jail." I said, "Where's Rocky Butte Jail?" So he said, "Go downstairs and put in your application." 3 years later, I got called to come and work for the Sheriff's Office. I go and wear skirts and little jacket they provided for us. Had to wear heels, and they had to be patent heels to wear. And so I sort of bucked the system. I didn't want to wear patent because they were shining, so I just wore heels. And I got threatened to be sent home by the lieutenant, and I rebelled again. So I went to the chief, and the chief said, "Oh, you don't have to wear those patent, just wear heels." So I wore the heels. I never will forget, a snowstorm came while we were on duty, and I was 7 months pregnant, trying to get out of that Rocky Butte dungeon, and I got stuck. Nobody helped me. Everybody went around me. So what do? I just sat in my car and I prayed and I said, "God, help me get out of this." My car was just spinning. So I put my foot on the accelerator, and all of a sudden my car jumped out of the stalling area. And I got home and I thought, this is where I want to be. And I thought, yes, this is where I want to be, because I think some changes need to be made in how people support one another. You have to, be strong. You have to have challenges in your life. So I worked Saturday night from 4 to 12, and I got off at work at 12. I went to the hospital at 2 o'clock to have my baby. Never will forget, the inmates at Rocky Butte Jail was about 17 females. They were so protective of me. I never will forget that. They had some fabric, and once they learned that my baby was born, they didn't know it was a girl or boy. They made her a blue gown and a pink black gown. So when I returned to work, they presented me with the gown for my baby. And I told them I should have named my baby Rocky, but because she would have been born in Rocky Butte Jail. In 1975, I got promoted to sergeant. And I thought, well, if I can get promoted to sergeant in 5 years, I can get promoted to lieutenant in another 5 years. Became a lieutenant in August of 1980. And one of the questions they asked me, "How do you feel being the first female lieutenant?" And I said, "Someone has to be the first, but I won't be the last. I'll make sure that other females become lieutenants," which I did. In comparison with today's, females are still reluctant to take promotion exam. For whatever reason, I don't know, but the opportunities are greater now than they were when I came up. I felt like I wasn't going to be told I could not do something when I believe I could. And because I believe I could, I believe I became a mentor for others who were interested in taking the promotion exam, become sergeant or lieutenant. And so the struggle is not ended. We continue to struggle, but again, the opportunities are greater. I think to be reflective of our community as an African American and celebrating Black History Month, it gives me so much joy that I feel like a celebrity when I go to the community. When I got promoted to lieutenant, it was like the community got promoted. They were all there. Write-up was in the paper because I was the first female, not first female to get promoted, but I was first African American female to get promoted to the rank of lieutenant. I am very proud to be an African American representing the sheriff's office. I was sharing with someone, I probably do more recruiting than the recruiting section of the sheriff's office, because when I go in the community, first thing when I see young folks, I say, "What are you doing? Are you in college? What you plan on doing?" And I said, "We got a job in the sheriff's office." Just going online, I share with them what they need to do. My advice to, I would say, the African American employees especially, do not violate your principles. Believe in who you are. Practice who you are. Don't exchange your value just to assimilate in an organization. You need to stand up for what you believe in, and you need to practice what you believe in. I understand working in a predominantly white society. I understand working when you're the only one on duty. It's hard to really share information because no one can understand. But my position is, I believe it is my opportunity to teach you my culture, to teach you my value, and we learn together and we share together, and we can enjoy each other's culture together without thinking one culture is better than another, because there is diversity. And the reason there's diversity because you're not supposed to be like me. You're supposed to think differently. So when we think differently, we bring it together and we make it more palatable so that you understand my culture, I understand your culture, and we can get along much better rather than thinking one person is superior over another one, because we're not. We're all in this together, but because we have different background, then that makes us different. But as I share with everybody, that's what diversity is all about, sharing. I am very pleased with the direction we're going in today. I still have the 80s organization chart, and I keep that as a reminder that perhaps in the 80s we could use it as an excuse, having all white males as administrators, because we had very few females. When I look at it today, we have made some significant changes. It's not quite where we should be, but at least we're moving forward to get there. I feel that I'm in a great place now. I can express my opinion openly without feeling like I'm going to be sanctioned for it, because I think what I say, I'm trying to help others grow. But after 45 years of services, I'm still enjoying my career. I have gone places that a lot of folks probably would never have gone. I have received training from all over the United States, also international. It's almost like once you pass your 30 years, there's no stress. There's no concern about whether I'm going to make it, because you've already made it.